Training camp hasn't even happened yet, and already there's a coach firing. When I initially saw Paul Bissonnette's statement circulating on social media, I didn't know what to think. Tuesday, the word initially broke that head coach Mike Babcock was making players uncomfortable. It seemed like there was some truth to the statements. Bissonnette on Spin Chicklets alleged that an anonymous player informed him that Babcock had grabbed his phone and started going through pictures, and he didn't like it. But when Johnny Gaudreau and Boone Jenner claimed that he was just asking for family photos, and they were okay with it, I thought maybe this was exaggerated because that's what Jenner said, quote, blown out of proportion, end quote. I was so conflicted that I wanted to wait and see how things played out before I made any sort of video on the matter. And obviously we have our verdict, as he was fired officially on Sunday, the 17th. In this video I'm going to go quickly over my thoughts on the matter and recap everything in case this is your first time hearing about the whole ordeal. November 20th, 2019. Mike Babcock was fired from the Toronto Maple Leafs. After making a name for himself as being an extremely toxic coach, Babcock started picking on rookie at the time Mitch Marner. And if you'd like an extremely detailed version of events dating way back, I recommend you check out my video on Babcock's full history with players. But essentially, this made Babcock look for work elsewhere as he was blacklisted as far as the NHL was concerned. So Babcock goes and coaches the Saskatoon Wolves for a bit and gets another shot years later. This past July, instead of retiring as he planned to a month later, Babcock was brought on board by GM Jarmo Kekalainen and made his way to Columbus to coach the Blue Jackets. Already this was seen as a bad move, bringing in a coach that had such a history of bullying players and just being plain mean at times. This was the coach that legitimately scratched Mike Modano when he was with Detroit, causing him to retire with 999 games played. I'm not kidding, that really happened. Anyways, Babs is brought in and the chatter died down until here recently. Spit and Chicklets became the whistleblowers, indicating that not all was well in Ohio's capital. Now, things for Jenner and Gaudreau may have went smoothly. However, this was the ultimate nail on the coffin per se. After the NHLPA was dispatched to investigate on Thursday the 14th, they discovered that there was an unnamed player who was younger than the veterans mentioned that spoke up. The player said that Babcock asked him for his phone's pictures outside of team facilities. Now that's definitely grounds for termination in my book. It puts a player in a very uncomfortable position where a person in authority is invading their personal space. In reality, it's just like someone's boss grabbing their phone and acting like it's their right to know what's on it. To me, it really seems like the culture change has caught up with Babcock and sealed his demise, which was made official Sunday the 17th. Players no longer feel like they have to shove things under the rug and endure harsh workplace conditions, aka bullying. And there might be some people that think this is just some kid crying, but in reality, this is just someone's feelings being validated and acknowledged. There's a creepy dude in authority invading someone's privacy and abusing his power in the wrong way. So to me, Babcock's termination was the only possible outcome in this scenario. Looking back, it definitely makes you question as to why Kekalainen ever thought this was a good idea. If you look back over the years throughout his history, Babs has been emotionally and even physically, at times, abusing players for decades. Not only was it just a bad look for fans, but even more so for the players. Creating a negative environment and giving them someone who they're uncomfortable seeing on a daily basis was just the worst imaginable decision. In my opinion, he should have been fired immediately. Maybe he just jumped the gun and resigned, but if the option was there, he should have been canned. Anyways, the Jackets have already appointed their new head coach, so we'll see how things go from here. Imagine having this much drama just waiting for you when you get to training camp. I mean, as a player, it would suck having to answer 100 questions about this right off the hop. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
I've known Mike on a personal level since the late 90s when he was coaching in the Western Hockey League, Spokane Chiefs, and he made a big impression on me. I thought that, well, that guy has passion for coaching, and